What's going on, guys? It's Picsoleated, and today we are looking at a pair of sneakers that are great, superb quality, well constructed, great design, but are being severely overlooked. It is a collaborative effort between Kanye and Adidas, and honestly at this point Kanye may be Adidas for all I know, but that's a topic for another day, another year potentially. But today we are looking at the Adidas Yeezy 500 Slate Highs. These sneakers released on Monday, December 16th, 2019, and they released for $300 Canadian retail, which is exactly the same price as the low versions of these shoes. Now that's a little weird considering that low top versions of sneakers are typically cheaper in price than the high top versions, but there are numerous exceptions to this rule, i.e. Air Forces. Adidas and Kanye have released numerous Yeezy models in partnership with each other. Many have been received positively, quite a few not so positively, and some have just been completely overlooked. But the truth is, while some of these shoes rightfully deserve their spot in the no-look pass zone, a few of them might have been unfairly tossed in. That unfair treatment has been given to this shoe right here, the Yeezy 500 Slate High. The Adidas Yeezy 500 silhouette released to much acclaim last year, and a ton of people loved the look of the shoe when it first released in the blush colorway, including me. It wasn't reselling at the time of its release, but the people who bought them really loved them. It was a drastic change from any previous Yeezy like the 350s or 750s. A chunky bumpy midsole instead of the straight but ribbed boost midsole of the 350s, an upper construction that was made primarily of more traditional materials as opposed to prime knit. But one thing left consumers confused: why was there no boost in the midsole? Up until that point, every Yeezy, not counting the unacceptable power phases, had boost in the midsole, and it only made sense to continue implementing Adidas's most comfortable cushioning tech in a new Yeezy. What made it more confusing was not only did they omit boost, they decided to still charge $300 Canadian retail for a pair of shoes with seemingly lower quality materials and not new tech. In what world does Adidas expect us to buy these off the value proposition alone? Turns out we still ended up buying them, and now it's one of Adidas Yeezy line's most popular shoes. I guess we realized that the lack of boost isn't so bad considering the shoe has Neoprene cushioning tech. It's not better than boost, but it's pretty good nonetheless. On top of that, the build quality of these shoes is like no other, and if you want to experience this build quality on your own, check the link in the description to get your pair. The construction of the shoe is really tough, yet the shoe is actually still easy to put on, which you don't normally get with shoes made of leather and more traditional materials. More importantly, you don't get that with high tops, but really the biggest reason is they look so damn cool on your feet, and that is probably why people still bought them even at a $300 Canadian premium. Now, before we get any deeper, let's quickly go over the materials. The upper of the Yeezy 500 Slate Highs is made of quite a few traditional materials. First, we have these suede panels in gray forming the toe box, the side panels, and a layer of the heel counter. These are underplayed by some traditional leather panels in gray, forming some of the same designs of the shoe, and then we have neoprene underlaying all of that to form the majority of the upper of the shoe, creating these bumpy protrusions of neoprene between all the panels of the shoe and the entirety of the tongue. This is a departure from the original design of the Yeezy 500 that had mesh in place of where the neoprene is on this shoe. This was an update you saw on the Yeezy 500 in the stone colorway. I'm not really sure why they made this change, and I couldn't tell you of any real immediate benefits, but what I will say is it definitely makes these better for winter. Okay, I guess that's an immediate benefit, but we'll get into more of that later. We have slate gray rope laces running through the shoe. We then have this hard outer layer or protective hard fused material. I believe it's plastic. It's going around the entire lower end of the shoe and a separate patch on the heel, creating a strong protective barrier that also reinforces the structure of the shoe. Moving on to the midsole, we have this bumpy dinosaur foot design midsole that is made of Adidas Neoprene plus cushioning. It feels to me like a very soft EVA, but it might be a mix of things just because EVA doesn't typically push in this easy. Finally, we have this super cool outsole. It aligns with the shape of the midsole, obviously, and it is actually made of a softer rubber than you normally get on typical outsoles. It's also more grippy than the typical outsole. You could probably use it as an eraser if you really wanted to. I wouldn't recommend that because then you're just losing life on your outsole, but you know, they're your shoes. You can do whatever you want with them. When it comes to sizing, I typically go half a size up from my true to size in 500s. I went true to size in my first pair, and it cost me my blushes because they would just start hurting my toes after a while. It was just a touch too short. So I decided to go half a size up in these as well, and they fit me perfectly. I've heard conflicting opinions as some go true to size in their 500s. I personally would recommend you find a way to try a pair on. Maybe your friend has a pair, or your friend is the same size or something. Unfortunately, it may not be as easy since these haven't sat in stores for many of the previous releases. However, going up half a size assures you that you will get a good fit. I don't really see these shoes being a nuisance or just entirely way too big if you end up going half a size up. So doing that will be your safest bet, and that is my recommendation. When it comes to comfort, the Yeezy 500 trumps other Yeezys in many ways. For example, the upper is astronomically more supportive than any pair of Yeezy 350s. On top of that being light and flexible for what it is, these shoes are just incredibly well built and will support your feet at all times. And you don't miss the lack of boost at all, as the Adidas cushioning and the satisfyingly flexible design of the midsole more than makes up for it. Also, for a high top, these shoes are supremely light, and I'm all for lighter high top shoes, because that's a rarity we don't get as often these days. Now, when pics of these shoes first leaked, I wasn't sure what I thought about them. They looked odd, but interesting, because I always pictured the unique sole of the Yeezy 500 on a high top, and it always looked amazing in my mind. But the first pics of these shoes, I'll be honest, had me convinced otherwise. I wasn't sure if it was something I wanted anymore. And I'm not sure if the overall design of the upper is what truly played a part in that decision, or whether the colorway wasn't interesting enough, but I knew, or at least I thought I knew, that I would not want these sneakers in my life. However, after finally getting them and putting them on, it didn't take me long to realize that these actually look great on feet. Even better than I hoped. I did like a full 360 right there, and the only thing holding these back in my mind is a decent colorway. The Slate High is a versatile colorway, but it's not interesting enough for me. I do have one gripe with this shoe, and it's with the updated neoprene construction. Don't get me wrong, I love the benefits of neoprene. It's a light material, it allows the shoe to be more padded and better for winter as opposed to the traditional mesh material. However, I just don't think it's the most aesthetically pleasing on parts of the shoe. For example, I think the bumpiness of the neoprene on the sides and the back of the shoe looks sick, but when it comes to the tongue, it just looks awkward, flat, and out of place. There's just this big wide slab of neoprene on the front of the shoe. I will say this, when I first saw pics of the Yeezy 500 Stone, the first 500 shoe that is a low top, to have that neoprene update, I was stoked. I even liked the neoprene tongue, but seeing the Slate in person with the neoprene tongue made me change my mind. It needs to be modified in some way to not look this out of place. Or maybe they look better in low top form, but I can't shake that odd feeling, like something's not right when I look at it. I think they could have done without that. Keeping the tongue mesh and the sides neoprene would be the ultimate combo. However, once you have these on, it's not that big a deal, as the rest of the shoe is incredible, and what's more incredible is that these shoes are going for great prices in the aftermarket, maybe even below retail. So go check the link in the description to get your pair now for an amazing price. What did you guys think about this shoe? Is it something you'd wear on a cold, breezy day, or are dinosaur footprints not for you? Let me know in the comments. I wanted to get this video out to you guys around the release of the shoe rather than 10 days later and smack dab in the middle of the holidays, but things happen, schedules change, so I just wanted to say, hopefully I get to drop more content for you guys before I see y'all in the new year. But in case I don't, happy holidays and happy new year. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, click the bell to stay up to date with the Pics fam, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Picsoleated is slated for another video.